Good afternoon, Westwood, and welcome to Flay High Field. Evan Cardamino alongside Morgan Donahue, who is about to kick off the PA announcements here for Westwood Wolverines Girls Soccer against the Dedham Marauders. Should be a fun one tonight, a great crosstown rivalry, and an early season TVL matchup that should be a great game here for the Westwood Wolverines. But we are about to kick off pregame ceremonies here, and we are going to pass it off to Morgan Donahue.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Flay High Field for tonight's TVL Large matchup between the visiting Dedham Marauders and your Westwood Wolverines. We'll kick off in a minute or two with tonight's starting lineups.
I don't know her number, so I don't know. Tomorrow at Dedham or no? At what time? Are you gonna go watch?
All right. Kicking off tonight's starting lineup, starting with the visiting Dedham Marauders. Number 1, Brooke Moreno. Number 8, Madison Williams. Number 9, Nina Gasparo. Number 11, Ruby Roselnick. Number 12, Maddie Chu. Number 13, Julie McLean. Number 14, Liana Fiorio. Number 16, Emily Bunsale. Number 18, Peyton McDonald. Number 23, Allie Finkel. And number 30, Nicole Andrews. And now, the starting lineups for your Westwood Wolverines. Number 7, freshman Charlie Juergens. Number 13, freshman Cassidy McGovern. Number 16, freshman Vanetta Stamatakos. Number 18, sophomore Avery Bohm. Number 15, sophomore Erin Gannon. Number 22, junior Madison Travers. Number 99, senior Alessia Chilengwa. Number 21, senior Emma Lou. And now for your captains, number 10, Olivia Mason. Number 23, senior captain Bella Wen. And last but not least, number 19, senior captain Izzy Hansen. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please stand for the playing of our national anthem, sung by a Westwood High School graduate, Adeline Vimenta.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, and go Wolverines!
And welcome back, folks. That was Morgan Donahue on the PA announcement. He'll be shortly coming over and getting settled and joining us on the call per usual. But here again for some Westwood Media Center coverage of Westwood Girls Soccer. Morgan, I'm excited for this one. We had a great first game, and you know, that first game we had one freshman starter, and the one thing I noticed in your starting lineup is we're now up to 3 freshman starters
Yes.
here early in the season. And you know, a strong freshman class for Westwood, really making their presence known here for the Wolverines. I mean, you went from one starter in Stamatakos to now, I believe it was McGovern and
Yeah, so we got Stamatakos, McGovern, Juergens starting today. The only freshman not starting is Pados, but Evan, keep an eye on her. She'll probably be in very quickly. You know, she has subbed in as well. They are a very, very talented freshman class. They played very well the other night versus Hopkinton, which Hopkinton, we know who they are. We've seen them. They are one of the best in the state perennially, and no different the other night. Westwood played tough. You know, the goals and the score, I don't think dictated how close the game was. Westwood hit a couple posts. That would have been, you know, a difference maker. One of those, you know, you pop one of those in. But they got better. They got better that game. There were certainly, you know, mistakes made by, you know, both teams. I mean, no one plays a flawless game. But Westwood, you know, wait to see what they come out with tonight. They are a team that is getting better and better each game. They're starting to really get the feel of their identity.
Yeah.
You know, who are we? What is our team? Is our team, you know, stingent defense, you know, high-flying offense? I think it's a little bit of both. But to have that unwavering confidence, that comes from just games played and repetitions. So, you know, after some great games so far, 3 games, Wolverines 2-1, you know, we're really going to start seeing a little bit more of what the team identity is, and also to start seeing some players really start pulling through with some real confidence in their game. Starting with those 3 freshmen, and you know, add Lily to it as well. Lily, a terrific player, and what these freshmen bring are, you know, they bring a big game. They're very talented. They clearly have played like a lot of club soccer, probably year-round soccer. On top of that, they're not intimidated. They're in there and they're not really like thinking, oh man, I'm playing against someone 3, 4 years older than me. They don't care. They just love the game. They want to play, high-level soccer for their town that they love with their best friends, and you can tell it. It's awesome. Wolverines have the ball on the far sideline. Olivia Mason, senior captain, with the throw. She was looking for Erin Gannon there. That ball gets deflected out. I think it's going to stay with Westwood. It is. I'm feeling like a professional now, Evan. I got the laptop set up. It's connected to the internet. We got rosters on the computer screen. This is getting serious now.
I would say so. Between this, coming back for our now, second full season, your third season doing it for Westwood Media Center, and now with the Westwood Living Sports starting up, I'm sure you're starting to really become a journalist here, and you're starting to really embrace it.
We've had a couple offers, but we've turned them down because nothing beats the sweetness of the W.
Of course.
And there's no amount of money until someone starts throwing 7-8 figures at us. we might have to consider that. But we'll work in the contract that we don't miss a Westwood game.
Right. We'll get the Westwood games on Nesson.
Yes. No, we'll get them on national.
Here we go.
We got to make sure that YouTube TV can cover it.
Right.
Actually, we are against YouTube. We like the cables.
Yeah, of course.
Cables only. The cables support the wonderful local community access, which Westwood Media Center is 501c3 nonprofit. Check out the website if you haven't. It's a great background on Westwood Media Center, what it provides to our town of Westwood, and also how to support. Also, Evan, some great opportunities of supporting through games too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, students have the opportunity to, sign up for games as they want. Work a little bit, get some experience, add something to the resume if you're a student who's interested. You can reach out to me, Evan, at westwoodmediacenter.tv, and we're happy to work something out. But the big thing here is we want students to come join these games and learn.
Outside shot on net, off the crossbar. The Dedham player gets a head on it, goes vertical, and then out of bounds. That was a boot from the Dedham free kicker. I believe it was number 16, Emily Bunsale. That was a boot.
And a great save by Chalangwa there.
Yeah, she got enough. She got a piece of that to get enough where it went off her hand, hit crossbar, stayed out of the net. Dedham going to have a corner here, 4 minutes into the game. It's a low-flighted kick, and then kicked out by Olivia Mason. Great job just getting that out of there. Getting it out of trouble, which Westwood's getting their offense going. A little give and go between Hansen and Gannon, two of the most prolific goal scorers in Westwood history amongst those two. I mean, you look at both of them, I think they got 37 combined career goals.
Something like that.
It's got to be more. I think Erin had a few in the Norwood game. But that's a lot of goals.
It is, and it's worth mentioning too on this broadcast. Since the last time we covered the Wolverines, Izzy Hansen has gotten into first place for all-time leading scorer for the Westwood Wolverines girls soccer program. So congratulations to her. Did it at that Norwood game. They were on the road for that. We weren't able to cover it. We were kind of hoping it would happen in that first game we covered, but we haven't covered a game since the debut this season. So first game back at Flay Hive here for the Wolverines, and what an accomplishment. You have a player like Izzy Hansen who's just set, a career record. And, she's holding that on. But there's a young athlete in Erin Gannon coming up right through the ranks who's looking to challenge her already. So, when you have two scorers like that on Westwood, that's a great, that's a great thing to have if you're Coach Lukash. You have two prolific scorers, two of the most prolific scorers in your team's history on the same team. That's a great situation for Westwood Wolverines soccer. So, that's what you go back to. You mentioned, is Westwood going to be a defensive team or an offensive team? Last year, I would have said they were more of a defensive team. You had Harper Morrison leading the charge back there. Ferreira.
And then, you also had Olivia Mason, who just had a terrific year, too. She came on strong towards the end, really solidifying herself as one of the best defenders in the TVL.
Absolutely, but when you have two prolific scorers like Hansen and Gannon, I can imagine why, you're probably getting a mix now of both, a well-balanced team of not just defense, but scoring.
Yeah. And one of the challenges the other night was they were doing a lot of those send passes right up the middle, trying to find Gannon and Hansen, and there's a whistle in the box. Let's see what we got here. Is it an infraction? Do we going to get a penalty kick?
I think we are, Morgan. That looked close. At the very least, that looked close.
A penalty kick called. Wolverines going to have a free kick here. It looks like it's going to be taken by Bella Wen. I believe she had one in the Norwood game, so Bella Wen going to take the penalty kick. Nicole Andrews in net. We called her name during the softball game versus Westwood with an amazing diving catch she had. Wen. She scores! Bella Wen on the penalty kick puts Westwood on the board, 1-0. 6 minutes into the game.
That's a big opportunity for Westwood there that they capitalize on. Scoring early against a good Dedham team. You know, this is a team that you're going to have to want to get a couple points and score. This is one of those teams that could challenge. So, you know, capitalize on their mistakes. They had an unfortunate call in the box where they had a trip, and Westwood able to capitalize, and they get the ball back here too.
Yeah.
So,
Yep, right back to work.
Westwood looking to keep the pressure on offensively, which is, I think, going to be a big part of their team going forward this season. Keep that pressure on your opponents offensively. Keep them, you know, sort of on their heels. If you can keep the attack, you can kind of keep your defense a little more rested and ready for later on when, you know, you're starting to get tired. So,
yeah, they striking early is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what every coach says. We want to get the first goal. It doesn't matter the sport. Get the first goal. You set the tone. Then you see, you know, obviously you don't want to play back, but you get that first goal. Sometimes you see other teams start to, you know, you pick them apart a little bit when you start to continue to build that momentum after the first one. But you can't really get going until you get that first one.
Right.
Physical play on the far sideline. Looks like some contact between number 16, Emily Bonsale, and Olivia Mason. Olivia Mason talking to the athletic trainers. Had the opportunity to talk to Paul Lill a little bit the other day. Awesome to hear from him. We were just shooting a couple texts, but Paul is, you know, back home and, you know, recovering. And we miss you, Paul, and looking forward to seeing you hopefully soon, bud. But you were missed by not only us, but the Westwood community.
But it's great to hear the update too that he's back home, like you said that first time. It's hard when you're, you know, trying to heal in the hospital, and instead you're back home in the comfort of your own home where you can continue to heal, and that's kind of the big thing. So
Just to sleep and everything.
Yeah.
Totally.
yeah, so you know, like you said, we're thinking of you. We can't wait to, you know, see you back here. Of course, we want you to take your time and heal and get healthy as you
Yes.
need to. But when you are back here, Paul, we'll be happy to see you. And
Chalangwa. Yeah, but it was great to hear, you know, and he is, you know, feeling better and better. And, you know, when we get him back, you know, in the Westwood community, my goodness, it's going to be electric. See the big dog. Ball out of bounds. I think it is going to be a goal kick for the Wolverines. Chalangwa setting it up. So Wolverines up 1-0 off a penalty kick by Bella Wen. Interesting thing, Evan, on penalty kicks is I believe you can pick anyone to take it. So you could draw a penalty. Doesn't necessarily mean the person who drew it has to take it. You can pick, you know, your best penalty kicker on your team to do it. So, you know, Bella Wen, pretty good option, senior captain, you know, leader. You know, she had a goal the other day versus Norwood, so she's perfect. And
Yep.
she's 2 for 2 now, batting 1,000. Ball in the middle of the field. Dedham with a throw. Trying to work it into Westwood territory. Westwood defending that 50 nicely. So it looks like Mason coming back in the game. That's a good sign to see. Paige Mullen, it looked like, came in for a little bit to replace her. It was a nice little high five they gave each other. I love that. You know, it's a family. They're all here supporting each other. They all got each other's backs. That's what sports is all about. Stimatacos over to Lou. Lou going to work it up the far side back to Mason. Mason inside to Wen. One touch pass back to Mason. Nice little move between the captains. She was looking for Gannon down the far sideline, but Dedham able to get a foot on that. Mason chipping it inside. Hansen is looking to do a deflection towards the net. And Travers kicking it down in an open space. Chased after by Bohm. Bohm with the support of McGovern. Gives it back to Stamatakos. Oh, they're moving the ball so well. Great sign to see is just great ball movement. Open up the field a little bit. Use that athleticism. Ball out of bounds.
But yeah, ball movement's the big thing there. Can you pass and find opportunities? Very rarely are you going to take it to the net yourself and score. There's not many opportunities for a fast break here, unlike in hockey, sport like that. You can see a fast break a couple times a period, whereas in soccer it's a little more rare. You don't really see it. So passing's the big thing. Either you're scoring a lot on finding the open person and making a smart pass. I think a lot of the goals we see come from that. So
Oh, look for the Wolverines. Shot is blocked. Hansen got a boot on that, blocked by the Dedham defense. One thing they say in hockey, Evan, there's nothing faster on the ice than the puck. And same rings true for soccer. There is nothing faster on the field. There's no player. You could have Usain Bolt on the field, and he's not going to be faster than the ball. Especially when you're sending that up into space. Stamatakos looking inside. Has Gannon. Gannon with a nice move. Stops it. She's looking to the outside. Has Hansen just over the net on that look. But great chemistry between those two to stop that ball on a dime, chip it over to Hansen, who was going to the net. Hansen gets a foot on it, but just a little bit too high, goes over the net. Going to be a goal kick. We are 10 minutes into the first half. Westwood up 1-0 off the penalty kick by Bellawen. You're watching Westwood Media Center coverage of Westwood Girls Soccer. Evan Cardamino on camera and microphone. Morgan Donahue here on microphone. And we are delighted to bring coverage to you, town of Westwood, and also shout out to the visitors. Anyone from Dedham watching or, anywhere around the world. We've seen, we do a poll every now and then to check in on, hey, where is everyone watching from? And we had Thailand and California were two last year.
I think we had Florida too. I think
yes.
Our friend of the Wolverine Report, Mark Zarther.
Mark Zarther, yeah, he watches the hockey, yep.
So
shout out to him. He just got promoted. He is now the chief revenue officer of the Florida Panthers. So he's in charge of making sure they're making money, and the business side of things. McGovern looking inside. She was looking for Juergens there. Ball was kicked out of bounds.
I also know we get played in South Bend, Indiana.
Yes, we do. Yes, confirmed that Joe Vinci was checking in from Notre Dame, watching his brother Mario, loving the celebrations and loving to see his Wolverines winning some big games. Not only just him, but some interested teammates became Westwood Wolverine football fans. We'll have to get them some swag.
Yeah, have to send some stuff out.
Yes.
But no, it's.
I mean, if I was at Notre Dame and I had some Westwood Media Center gear, like that's the big ticket items to wear around there.
Absolutely.
Stamatakos defending the line, moves the ball back to Lou. Lou's going to kick it out of bounds. So checking in the game for the Wolverines is Lindsay Bannister. Also see Natalie Unger. Natalie Unger played terrific the other night in the Hopkinton game. She really was, on full display of her athleticism and speed. She was chipping to herself, and she had a couple different defenders trying to defend her. They could not catch up to her speed. And she can run with that ball, and not, running full speed with the ball is tough to do.
Right.
It seems easy for her. It seems like she can still run at a high rate of speed while dribbling the ball, where most players, if not all players, are typically running at a slower pace when they have that ball. Kick by Chalangwa. It's working its way towards the end line. It deflected off Dedham, but good boxing out by Lou to ensure Westwood kept that ball going out of bounds. That was off the foot of Dedham to earn the goal kick.
Smart play there by Lou, too. I mean, you have two options in that situation. You can either, box out, and if you have a good enough box out, you're going to get a goal kick, get the possession back. Or if you absolutely can't box out, at that point, you're trying to kick it out before that cone so you can get a throw in for the other team, which, you know, is not ideal, but it's better than a corner kick. The last thing you want is a corner kick in that situation. So, you know, smart play by Lou to keep the possession for Westwood.
Yep. High IQ play. You know, they get a lot of smart, talented players that, and you know, she sets the example for other players to do that. We see the freshmen doing that. Look at Stamatakos doing that right there. So she's cutting that angle off so Dedham can't get to it to ensure Westwood's going to keep that possession. They get the goal kick and then set up their breakout. And that's why the senior leadership like that, and Emma, and the captains, and you know, setting that example is so beneficial for the young kids to, you know, see how they play the game here at the high school level. And you know, the things that are small things that end up to winning soccer.
Right, and I mean, you have as a senior, you have to set that leadership for them because, you know, it's great that we had the freshmen on the field, but you know that does lead to, you know, inexperience. You don't know what you don't know. You've only seen at this point 4 varsity games, so you know there's a lot to learn still. You know, these are kids that are still developing, so it's great when you see senior leadership setting a good example and setting that example for them so that, you know, they're learning fundamental sound soccer.
Yep.
So, you know, it really goes back and speaks volumes about the leadership on this team. And Coach Lukash as well, I know he does a good job of setting standards, and I know he teaches smart fundamental soccer, so, you know.
West kicks that ball out, had a couple ricochets that looked like it was going to be in Dedham's favor, but well played by the Wolverines. Now they got 2 players on it to earn the possession. Nicely done. Lindsay Bannister has it. She's going down the sideline. She had some help by with Emma Lou. Kicked inside to Hanson. She hits the ground, but then chipped up by Travers. Ball in open space. Unger was battling for it, and then Dedham kicks it out of bounds. So Westwood's going to have the possession deep in Dedham territory. Mason's going to come down to make the throw. Wolverine's going to make a couple substitutions.
Good play by Dedham there too. That was close to hitting that cone there for the corner kick, deciding the corner versus the throw-in. So, you know, smart play there. We talk about it. That's your sort of backup option because it was angled just enough where if it hits that cone, it's going to be a corner.
Yeah.
And that's another opportunity for Westwood where we've seen them even this year capitalize on a corner kick. Their first goal of the season was a corner kick goal. So, you know.
Yeah, Pados on and Gannon on. Hanson and Travers getting a quick breather. I love to see Wolverines using the depth, using it to their advantage. Have fresh legs, you know, for the full game. It's vitally important, especially come playoff time. You know, when you're going to, you know, that Westwood boys game last year, playing up against Bill Ricca, how exhausted were they after an overtime? You know,
a double overtime into penalty
and then
kicks.
penalty kicks. It's a long game.
It is, and that was a game. And even the penalty kicks went into extra penalty kicks too.
Yes, it did.
We, you know, it was a battle to the end, and it was really at that point not even just a battle of you know who gets one up on you, but who has the stamina. Who at that point can go that long? Because that game was, I think, 2.5 hours.
It was a long one, yeah.
Soccer games are normally, even these games that we cover, you know, we're looking at an hour 40, give or take, not including the, you know, 10, 15 minutes that I cut out of these broadcasts for
fraction there. It's going to be Westwood ball
for halftime. But, you know, these are long games. These you know, are essentially very close to the professional level. Professional soccer is 90 minutes, and we're playing 80 here.
Yeah.
So, you know, some other, you know, other sports might not have as close of a gap to the length of play as soccer does from high school to professional. So, you know, it's an endurance match at that point. And you know, one of the things that Coach Lukash does really well is we've seen a lot of substitutions and keeping players fresh and not only getting some of those younger players experience, but keeping your seniors and your leaders on the team a little more experienced.
Yeah. Yep. Wolverine's going to work that ball back, try and move it forward. Picked off by Dedham. Dedham comes away with it, looking inside. Goes by Chalengwa, shot, they score. Wolverine's kind of asleep at the wheel there. That's a goal by number 6, Julia Walsh. So Walsh with the goal. I believe it was an assist by Roselneck. And Wolverines a little bit asleep there. They kind of just let the ball in there and went across the crease, and then goal by Dedham to tie it up 1 apiece. Now Westwood going to send it. Send it far side. Unger chasing it down. She takes some contact, and we're going to get a penalty kick again.
What? Now, Morgan, I had to take a quick phone call for the moment, and I missed out on a lot.
Yeah.
But what? That's a come back here. That's a quick succession for Westwood, and this is another opportunity to keep, to come right back from a tie there. Westwood. This is a big opportunity. Let's see who they have put out there for the kick. I don't know if you can have the same person
It's
do
Bella
it
Wen
again.
again.
I guess you can.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bella Wen.
I know in
I think she had a hat trick
penalties.
the other day. I think one of them was at least a penalty kick.
I know penalty kicks in overtime. It has to go player to player to player.
So Wen on the whistle. She scores! Bella Wen again. Back-to-back penalty kicks for Wen. 2 for 2, 3 for 3 on the season, and puts the Wolverines up 2-1 halfway through the first half.
Well, if you're Coach Lukash, you don't like to see them give up a goal there, in the first, a couple minutes ago. But, you got to be a little happy knowing that your team was able to make a comeback and make up that giving up a goal just like that. And it's now back to a 1-point game.
Now, Evan, do we have a new nickname for Bella Wen? Bella, the penalty kick whisperer Wen? We had Timmy, the playoff whisperer Malloy.
Yep.
We had Todd, the timeout whisperer Zaherk, and we might as well throw J.C. Whalen in there too. But Bella, the penalty kick whisperer Wen. Kind of like it.
I like it too. I mean, we like giving out nicknames here. You can't forget some of the classics. Air Liam.
Air Liam is.
Air Liam.
You know, in every interview I see with the golf team that they do, can't help it here, but the save. You know, interview with Save. They call them saves.
Save. Yeah, I like that too. The save, Jaden Pollock. Air CC as well.
Air CC.
Point her that as well.
Yep. You know what? Back in the 50s and 60s, every athlete had a nickname. The Rocket. They had the Zero for my dad's high school goalie, Don Smith. And it's fun. I mean, the pros had different nicknames. So I think we need to go back to the nicknames.
I like the nicknames. You don't have go to classic football. Mean Joe Green. He was a great defensive tackle for the Steelers all those
classic
years.
One there.
It's a classic nickname. I think we need to start bringing some of them back. We're doing that here in Westwood. That's for sure.
Yes. One of the best guys in the nickname business is Rory Alex. He had nicknames for Westwood Boys Soccer during the senior night game. And they were fantastic. They were fantastic.
And he had a nickname for every single player on the team,
player,
too. That was kind of very impressive.
He put some thought into it.
He did.
He put some thought into it. I think he needs to start a business, just straight up
nicknaming people.
Each team that has a senior night, they hire him, and he gets the nicknames rolling out.
We'll have to send him the rosters and ask for some nicknames for upcoming broadcasts.
That man was ChatGPT before ChatGPT. Like, he was doing that off the cuff before you could press the enter button, Stamatakos stopped by Dedham. That was a great play by number 11 on Dedham. Ruby Roselneck, she had an assist on the earlier goal by, I forget who the earlier goal was. I think it was number 6, Julia Walsh. Have to confirm. Now Mason, on the far side. They're going to center it. Hits a Dedham player, gets another opportunity. Just missed Hansen there on the connection. Ball gets kicked out. Dedham comes away with it. Roselneck sends it over near side. Number 6, Walsh. Those two on the connection for the Dedham goal. Kicked out by Westwood. Love the effort there by 13 for the Wolverines. McGovern, she was fighting for that, trying to close that window to get that possession. 50-50 battle, so critical. Doesn't matter where it is on the field. Not afraid to go out there. Freshman versus senior on a play. She wants that ball and wants it to go downhill with the Wolverines for a good offensive look. Gannon, far sideline. Works it down the line, stays in bounds. Hansen was chasing it down, kicked out by Dedham.
So Morgan, we're going to do something a little different here on the broadcast. For viewers, one of the new things we're doing for sponsors, if you're interested in a business for sponsoring Westwood High School sports, is we have the options for season sponsorship, and we had our first season sponsorship this year going to Annie Elcock Jessup Real Estate. So you're going to see a couple new graphics tonight. You're going to see side-by-side coverage presented by Annie Jessup Real Estate. Thank you to Annie, and thank you for supporting us for this fall season. They're going to
Wen with the shot, loose ball. Hansen battling for it, kicked out. But as you said, shout out to Annie Jessup. Annie, longtime resident in Westwood. And Evan, look what we got. We got the boys rolling in, and they are loud, which means one thing and one thing only. They are coming home with a victory in their hands. And we are connected to the internet, folks, so we will get a confirmation on the score.
I was about to do my patented trick of one hand on the camera, one hand on my phone trying to type, but
we don't have an update officially on Arbiter as of yet.
Maybe Twitter.
Maybe I'm gonna do a reset. Still no update.
Sometimes I know Westwood new AD Rich Verrier updates Twitter and Instagram, so we'll have to take a look at social as well. And if not, Dedham I know does a good job. And
yes.
You know, those are usually Arbiter's my go-to, but then we go to those two next, and usually in that order. Twitter's a little easier, but
as you mentioned, about Annie Jessup, shout out, longtime Westwood resident. I think she has 5 sons that are either at or have come through Westwood High School. 2 of them at Westwood High School. Captain Charlie Jessup. I believe there's another one. I don't know if it's Timmy. A younger Jessup brother, but great athletes. One of the older ones is a fantastic basketball player. A couple track stars too. State champions, I believe. Or if they weren't state champions, all scholastic, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and like we said, this is a part of the new Westwood Media Center. We're now offering sponsorship opportunities for local businesses or just even parents or alumni who want to support the program. And
here we go. We got an update. Westwood 2, Dedham 1 in the boys' game. So a very productive road game for the Wolverines. They continue to have a great start. They have yet to lose a game. They tied against Hopkinton, who's always very good. They beat Norwood. They beat Dedham, and they have beat Holliston, and have gone undefeated in the TVL Large so far.
Yeah, that's a great start for Coach Josh Mitchell. You couldn't ask for a better start of not losing to a TVL opponent. That's a great start to the season for him. That's where you want to be as Westwood's making a move downfield. But
McGovern looking to move it inside. She's going to send a far side over to Juergens. That was one thing when I was a freshman playing hockey. When you're a freshman, you see other freshmen out there, you want to, continue that freshman story. So you're always looking for each other, But you also have been playing with each other for many years, so you kind of know, what their game is, how to maximize, the personnel out there. So
right. I mean, when it comes to the youth level and, playing youth soccer and, you might have played with, if you're a freshman, you might have played with some of the sophomores, but you don't really know much of you're still learning to play with the seniors, the juniors. So, as part of that is you have a little bit of chemistry there. You know who you're playing with. You most likely grew up playing with youth soccer with them. So, it's a little easier to find your freshman teammate. It's also, it's fun. These are your friends. These are the people you were probably the closest friends with, and it's always good to. It's going to be exciting for us. I know we'll be loud if we call a freshman goal here this season.
That would be really cool. So I know Juergens got her first goal in the Norwood game. So still, opportunity to call some first goals for, McGovern, for Stamatakos, and Pados. So keep an eye. If we're able to call those, we're going to be very loud. Speaking of which, Wolverines have Molly Crummett on on right now, number 5, which is great to see. He's a senior for the Wolverines, senior leader, and we Saw her, a bunch last year, and a great player up front. Additional depth to add to the high-flying scoring that the Wolverines have. Just a great asset to add as with leadership too. And you have depth. A lot of the depth is young, but when you have the depth that have been in the program for numerous years, it's a really good asset to have. Tacos. Ooh, that one ricocheted off of both players. Westwood able to come away with it from it. He's looking to send that up the far side, gets deflected. Dedham going to try the near side. Looking inside. There's a good connection there. The miscommunication on the near side goes outside the goal line. Going to be a Westwood goal kick. 11 minutes, 13 seconds remaining here in the first half. Wolverines up 2-1 off of 2 goals, 2 penalty kick goals by Bellowen. Dedham scored their goal 20 minutes at the halfway point the first half. There's a goal by number 6 for Dedham. I have it written down. Too many tabs open over here. Tacos going to kick that one out of bounds. Big win, 2-1 win as the boys soccer team is now making their way over to the game. I love to see it. Westwood supporting Westwood. On the near side. Very close to being on the sideline. Good defense there or good play there by Bannister. Just went out of bounds. There we go, I got the roster back up. So the Dedham goal was by number 6, Julia Walsh. On a nice pass by Ruby Roselneck. Unger comes down to help on the defensive end. She's going to send it to the far side over to Mason. Really nice play there. Mason looking upfield. Going to force the goaltender to come out and play that. Love the support here. I see the boys soccer team. We have it off to the left. We see some of the field hockey team members too. Great support for Westwood sports so far this season. Really setting the tone for the stew, as Timmy Malloy would call it. Stew, short for student section.
You know, that's the thing that we talked to. We talked to Trevor Ferreira and Ethan Butner off that win last Thursday over Norwood. And, they mentioned that, they want to see the fans out here. They want to get the den out here and out to these games, supporting the games. And, what better way than to have all the teams show up and support and, cheer on the Wolverines.
Wen with the nice throw in. Oh! Contact there. Unger gets right back up. Tough kid. My goodness.
Seen a couple hits today.
That was a body check.
We've seen a
But
couple.
it was no harm, no foul. It wasn't an intentional one. It was a good hard play for the ball.
Yeah, no, it's a physical game. It's we've seen today a couple hits. We saw that ricochet earlier. We saw a couple other
It can
plays.
be a physical game.
Yeah, especially if you're.
There are concussions in soccer. It comes from a lot of headers and just contact. It's not a sport that is a contactless sport.
No.
Ball kicked about 60 yards across the field here on the near side, goes out of bounds right around the Westwood 40. Throw in by Bone. Travers was trying to ricochet it over to Bannister, but Dedham got a foot in front of that one. Door closed there by Lou. Terrific job. Oh, excuse me, that was Bohm. Bohm, the great defensive play there. Forced the ball on the far side. Now you look at Unger here with her speed. This is what I was talking about, Evan. She can move the ball effectively with that speed and go by defenders, at ease. Looking inside. That one gets through. And one of the challenges Westwood had, I wouldn't say issues, but challenges they had in the Hopkinton game is they were doing those send passes, and the officials called about 6 or 7 offside calls.
Yeah.
And they were like close. And I've seen worse, over the years. But I'm a homer, so hey, I'm like the guy giving the Palm Sunday with the hands up, saying, "Come on, ref, 7 in a row can't be that egregious."
Yeah.
But it was definitely a part of the game the other night. Tacos with a boot, gets into the box, defended by Dedham.
Hey, we know from experience that you can score from there. You can get a
We
goal
saw
from that range.
the other
so.
night. Yeah. Anything can happen now. We've seen a lot of things happen. Dedham making wholesale changes right now. About 5 players coming in, 5 players coming out. With 6 minutes remaining here in the half, these got to be the starters, especially the last 6 minutes or so. You get a little breather, and then they want to finish the half strong.
Get them fresh for the final minutes here. We talk about can you
vulnerable minute, the vulnerable end of the half.
Yeah, you have 5 minutes here to maybe make a play, tie this up, and have Westwood think about it for the next minute. But if you're Westwood, just the big thing here is keeping the pressure on. You have control, you have the lead, and just play your game.
Yep. Bowen with the throw in. To Bannister. Wen gonna work it back. Nice move. Another nice move. Keeps it in. Holding on. Oh, another nice move. 3 in a row. She's just showing off over here. Some great moves. That's what makes her such a good midfielder, is she can make great moves in tight spaces to help, give Westwood the best look possible for breakouts and also, getting the offense going. Pass inside. Just missed on that connection. That was Unger looking for Bannister. But I like the looks. I like, taking some risks. Try and find some players. Get some good looks. They got the players and the athleticism to really kind of exploit matchups when it comes to open field and dangerous scores that the Wolverines have. Now we're seeing some of the football players coming on to cheer on their Wolverines. They got a big game tomorrow night on the road.
Week 1 for them, opening up against West Bridgewater. That should be a good one to follow along.
That ball was kicked out of bounds. Going to be, I believe, a goal kick for the Wolverines. Don't overlook West Bridgewater. They're always we got a timeout called, so timeout called. Don't overlook West Bridgewater, though. They are a team that is always a great team. That's always finding their way in the playoffs. They got great history. Phil Azak, who's one of the most decorated, parent coaches in the town of Westwood, for Pop Warner, he took Westwood. He won a New England championship with Westwood. Little Westwood, beating not only just the top teams in Massachusetts, he beat the New England teams and took them to Disney World. You always hear about the team went to Disney World. He took Westwood to Disney World. And we had to play Everett, 8th grade, in the Massachusetts championship. On that Everett team was none other than Matt Nuzzo. There was about 4 or 5 other Division I players. Matt Nuzzo was a kid who started at Everett for 4 years, won 4 state championships in a row at Everett. Actually, I think 3. He lost his 4th to an upset by Brockton. Brockton got it done with Richard Johnson. But a very, West Bridgewater, a very historic town. A lot of great football history. Both teams had an opportunity to talk through this, and they're going to come right back out. So let me see what we got here, because we weren't exactly sure with what was going on. If it was goal kick, it's going to be corner kick. So corner kick upcoming for Dedham. This is a good look for them. 4 minutes, 33 seconds remaining. Kick from Dedham's a low one. Westwood gets ahead on that. I believe it was Bohm. And then able to get it out of the box area. Dedham chipping it right back in. Wen with a nice battle. Jorgen's able to chip it up. Dedham going to send it back on the Westwood side of the 50. Going to be a throw in on the far side. And folks, if you don't know, the big dog is working camera and microphone right now. Let's see how we do. I'm learning a little zoom right now. Let's see how we do that. And why? Yep, there we go, a little zoom. Yeah, Evan said he's going to judge this later. So this might be, we'll see how this goes. Oh, there's the ball now. So throw in now on the far side. That was Olivia Mason. A little battle going on. Dedham chipping it up, but that goes out of bounds. Mason going to try again. Over the head of a couple players. Westwood trying to battle for it. Loose ball there. 3 minutes, 20 seconds left. Still plenty of time to try and get a couple shots on net. A centering attempt, and then Andrews comes away with the save. Andrews, a terrific athlete. We mentioned, we called her name. She had like a top 10 Sports Center type highlight when it came to her diving catch she had in the senior night game for softball. Ball ricochets on the near side. Wen battling for it. She hits the turf. and then physical play by Bannister, stepping up for her teammate. Love to see that, but that's going to draw a whistle. Dedham going to have a free kick. Westwood well defended, right back out of bounds. How are we thinking, folks? Good so far? There we go, look at that. Kept it in the frame with a little zoom action. How are ya? As Dedham works across the field. They were looking to send it, but nicely defended there by Westwood. Ball on the far side. Dedham looking for some space, shot on net. Saved by Chilangwa. Ball at it was a rebound and then kicked out of bounds. So Evan, I have a big appreciation for trying to announce and do camera work at the same time. Not easy. All good. Goal kick by Westwood. Stamatako is going to take it. Bannister trying to keep it in. That goes out of bounds right around the 50. Dedham picks it up for the throw. So 2 minutes now on stoppage time for the first half. Evan is heading over to school committee. We have an issue with technology over there, so I will be doing camera and commentating for the remainder of the first half, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see if we get another goal here, huh? How about it? That was quick, so that is going to do it for the first half. It was a very quick stoppage time, but after one half of soccer, the Wolverines up 2-1 off of 2 penalty kick goals. It's rare you see, one in a game, but for the Wolverines to see 2, and both off the foot of Bella Wen. So Bella Wen is a goal away from a hat trick, which she had in her last game versus Norwood. Or excuse me, the previous game from the game on Thursday last week. There was a game in between versus Hopkinton. But if Wen scores another one, it'd be a heck of a start for the senior captain. We will take a quick break. You are watching Westwood Girls Lacrosse on Westwood Media Center. We'll be right back for the start of the second half.
Nothing in sports happens without commitment. You have to commit to prepare. You have to commit to compete. And when the game is on the line, you have to commit to making a decision and trust your preparation. The same is true when it comes to orthodontics. When you commit to improving your smile, you're making a commitment to a better life. Your mouth is the front door to your health. And who doesn't love showing off a beautiful smile when you're celebrating with friends and teammates? Arch Orthodontics is committed to you and being part of creating an even better you. When you're ready to commit, you know who to call.
Westwood High School Sports brought to you by Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care. And Neroli Ristorante, authentically Italian.
Welcome back. About to kick off the second half. Folks, we got Evan back on camera. So.
Morgan, I'm
we are we're gonna get a 0 to 10 grade on the my dual opportunity job I did when it came to the camera work and the play-by-play.
Yeah, if I sound winded, I do apologize. I did run between here and the auditorium. Had to help out with some things, but that's part of the job. So
you know what? Just more appreciation for what you guys do at Westwood Media Center is. Some towns would just call it, hey, we got a government meeting tonight, doing both. That is awesome.
Yeah.
We appreciate that, Evan.
Yeah, we got school committee going on right now, and happy to go over and help when I need. Did try doing it here because of the fix I know how to do. I could do it here, but I don't have my computer here, so it's kind of hard. So it's easier.
Log the password already, good to go, and just
I see why my friend Matt. He's another videographer. He has a scooter, especially when he does stuff. He does stuff for the
smart man.
He does stuff for IMSA. So when he is at the races, he scoots from one portion of the track to the other. So honestly, I think I'm gonna have to ask where he got his scooter.
Yeah.
So I can.
I've seen a bunch around the town of Westwood.
Yeah.
A bunch in the maze.
He has one with a little basket in it too. He can put his camera in it, can put his gear in it. Doesn't have to carry it like on a backpack or anything. So I might have to save up. Might have to invest in
or a golf cart.
Golf cart would be
great.
great.
A golf cart.
I see what Rich and Paul drive around here on. I think, golf cart would be great. Could do some cross country that way.
Yeah.
But
getting some good steps in today.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Boys soccer, as mentioned, successful day on the road, winning 2-1 against Dedham, and they are off to a great start.
Yeah,
TVL large.
That's the start you want for the season. It's especially against these TVL opponents. It's not. Oftentimes you see a couple non-league opponents, and I know they're going to see their first non-league opponent this Saturday against King Philip. But normally you see a non-league or even like a Walpole or a Canton of the sorts, something to sort of start the season. Mm-hmm. And, early on we've seen nothing but TVL. So it's an important part of the season too, because they're all TVL large. These are all teams that are competing against each other for the TVL championship for the TVL large. So, it's not even like they're playing a Medfield or a Millis or a Norton where, you want to win it, but ultimately it doesn't affect your rankings in the TVL large at the end of the day. So, for you, it's an early season test for both these teams. All the teams we've seen so far, we haven't had many non-league games at all across all 4 sports. Except for football, 5 sports.
And it's big games right off the bat too.
Yeah.
You're going up against your rivals in like your second, third game of the year. So you got to be even more ready for the start of the season. Hansen looking inside. McGovern battling forward. Well defended there by Dedham, number 23, Allie Finkel. McGovern, nifty move. Going behind the back, trying to create some space, but still a very productive move. Forces Dedham to kick it out of bounds. Westwood with the throw. Still Tacos. Keeps that ball over on the far sideline. So I was down talking to the boys soccer team at the half, and they were very happy about their win. We were talking about do the write-up and make sure that call out the goal scores and all that. And then they were all asking, hey, when are we going to get a nicknames? And Leo said he'd like Air Leo for basketball, and I go, I don't know, that's tough. You know, it's tough to use the same one for a couple different players. It works.
Right.
It works for Cece and Liam, but we'll come up with something for Leo.
We gotta, you gotta. I think your nickname also can come to you in time. You gotta.
I think Leo, the chosen one, Chalengwa.
I like the chosen one. I think that's
because a guy that had been battling injuries, but now's his time.
Right.
It is his time. Leo, the chosen one, Chalengwa.
He might like that. I think he's gonna like
We'll
that
run
better
it
than
by
Air Leo.
Maybe we'll just do it live during a game and he'll
let it happen. Like
Yeah.
I said, it has to happen naturally.
The chosen one from the outside.
The big thing with Air Liam, Air CC, the save.
Yep.
Those all came in the moment. Those all occurred in that moment. It's
very natural.
You gotta, I guess the challenge I'll give to these Westwood athletes is make it exciting for us to come up with a nickname.
Yeah.
Give us something to give you. Give us some material to work
Big
with.
Big play will define itself.
Yeah, absolutely. We love the big plays, and that's what we want to see. So, that's my challenge to you.
Trevor, the thriller Ferreira. Every time he scores a goal, it's a thrilling game, thrilling goal as well.
Yep.
Russell looking to send it up the far side. McGovern trying to catch up to the Dedham defender. Dedham able to get a foot on it first. Westwood has their layers though. Kicked up by Travers. Bohm battling for it. She gets head to advance it. Chipped inside. Gannon has some space. Stops it. Gets a shot and a save by Andrews. That was Westwood's best look of the second half. And that was a great shot by Gannon. But as we mentioned, Andrews a terrific athlete in net for Dedham.
We saw an amazing goal too, or amazing catch from her in the softball season. Well, I know you mentioned it earlier, but that was what a thrilling catch by Andrews. And it makes sense. Have an outfielder in softball. That's a smart, sort of
center
positional
fielder.
change. Yeah.
Yeah, center fielder. Just kind of
have to be able to go make the catch.
You have to be one of the best athletes at center field because you got to cover the most amount of ground. A shot from the outside. That's going to go out. That was by Travers. Travers got a great boot. She does some corners, but not afraid to kick from the outside. And as we've seen, you can pick a corner or two, especially when you're going left to right on Flay Hive where the wind is a nice factor every now and then. Goal kicked by Andrews. Wen jumped in front of that. Juergens on the play. Chipped up by Mason. McGovern tracks it down. Looking for a center, but kicked outside by Dedham. Dedham making some good defensive adjustments here early in the second half.
And if you're Westwood right now, the big goal for you is just if you can, keep that offensive pressure, maybe get a goal out of this and get yourself a 2-goal lead. That's a hard lead to come back from. One goal is doable. It's manageable. At the very least, you can get out of here with a tie. If you're Dedham, but if you're Westwood and you can get a 2-goal lead, you can get your 3rd goal of the night here. You have a bit of comfort. You can control the game. We're not quite in that range yet, but a goal here in the next 5-10 minutes, and you can pretty much control the game from here on out. As we get closer and closer to time, we talk about the clock management and time management. It'll become, maybe around the 10-minute mark is when Westwood's going to start controlling the time. But Coach Lukash very cognizant of the clock, very aware of the situation, plays a lot of situational soccer, knows what, hey, right now, this is a good team. They can get a goal on us quickly if we're not careful, so let's keep that offensive pressure.
Yeah, both teams, you'd have to imagine the coach would say the biggest goal of the game is the next one. It's going to be the tying goal for Dedham. It's going to be the goal that puts Westwood up 2. Great move by Juergens to create some space, and she's working the ball downhill. The ball was picked off by Dedham. Westwood able to win it back. Boom. She has been getting better and better every single game. Confidence, you can tell, is apparent in her game. Just feeling it out there. She really is, playing her best soccer so far. Boom. Only a sophomore, too. high upside in her career here at Westwood. Ball on the far side. There's some contact there. That was a clean slide tackle. So nice play there by Wolverine defense.
It's one of those plays that could have gone either way. You know, we've seen a couple tackles tonight that have been called. And
Is that McGovern? I can't tell from, it's too far, and also the lights make it challenging. I think it's McGovern.
it's going to be a Dedham ball here. So
Corner or a throw, we'll see.
I think we're going to get a throw here.
What a play by McGovern.
I don't
mean,
know.
it's a slide tackle in that box. Well, I guess technically it was outside the box. But
Well, I think it might have actually been a clean tackle, and I think it just the ball got out of bounds.
ball gets through. Chalangwa gets the hand on it. Nice play by senior goalkeeper for the Wolverines.
If it was an infraction, I believe they would have kicked it. So I actually think that it was a clean tackle by both, actually. And they're just saying that the last contact was actually off of McGovern.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Great clean slide tackle. And those are great breakout for the Wolverines. Juergens looking inside to Walsh. Ball knocked away. So going to have to throw. Some substitutions now for the Wolverines. Bannister and Unger coming on. One for Westwood. Bannister chasing it down. Travers working around, gets the ball at the far side. Be a throw for Dedham. About 11 minutes into the second half, Wolverine still up 2-1. Evan Cardamino on camera, microphone. Morgan Donahue on microphone. Westwood Media Center coverage of Westwood Girls Soccer. Natalie Unger keeps it in.
Smart
Makes
play.
a nice move, able to get it through a couple defenders. Dedham able to catch up to it. Dedham going to have the throw in right around the 50. Sent it on the far side. Played by Ozelnick. Headed by Walsh. Stolen by Westwood for a second. Bannister, she's been battling all night. Oh, a terrific job. Not afraid to be physical. You gotta be. It's a physical game. Looks like there's some contact there. Dedham player goes down, but getting up now. To win battles, you gotta be able to stand your ground. Can't be afraid. You know, you might take, not a body check, but you might take, an arm or, some momentum your way when you're trying to win a possession for your team.
I mean, it's a physical game. It doesn't help that it's turf either. You know, you got that sort of solid ground underneath that you have to deal with. It's not like football where you at least have some pads. You might have a little bit of padding there, but between that, starting to get cold out, that doesn't help. We're in that season of the year now too, where the temperature is going to start to affect how you play a bit. You're experiencing 20, 30-degree drops at night. It's just the nature of fall. So something to battle with as we get later and later into the game. Here's the temperature change, the physicality. This is a game that's going to get even more physical before the end of the night, especially because Dedham's keeping it close. Keeping it close, keeping in it. They're going to get more physical as it comes crunch time. As Westwood gets a breakaway here.
Unger's got some speed and space. Inside, just missed Juergens. The ball in open space, chasing it down on the far side. It's like boom, jumping in on the play.
I like that pass a lot from Unger. It's a great play.
Great play. When she's got a good look, nice move, looking to shoot, passes it over to Juergens. The ball gets knocked loose. Is that going to be a corner? It is. So nice play there by the Wolverines to earn a corner, and very unselfish play by Bella Wen.
Yeah, and the other thing too here is we haven't seen many corners tonight. So, we're gonna be. I don't know if this is the first corner this. The first corner this half, but certainly one of the only few.
Oh, that's a good one. In the box, goes through. That was kicked by Bella I believe, and they're going to be out of bounds here on the near side. Dedham throw. A throw by Dedham on the near side. Kicked back. Couple Westwood players closing in. Mason, it's a piece of it. Ooh, advances it. Mason again. Gannon was trying to jump on it, but Dedham able to maintain it. Pass goes back. Kicked by Wolverines. That one's blocked. Kicked by Dedham, goes off Westwood player, going to be a goal kick. I think that went off of Travers.
Westwood's now in a situation where, I think they're going to start to see. You're going to start to see they're going to get a little more aggressive here before ultimately backing off. If they can get a goal within the next 10, 15 minutes, you'll see them, start to play clock management. But, I think you're going to see a lot of aggression from Dedham. Westwood, you're going to see a lot of aggression from Dedham too. But, pretty quickly here, I think at some point you're going to see them start sort of, taking more passes, finding, the right player to pass to, and playing basically a game of keep away. It's not necessarily not being aggressive.
Smart possessions and time.
Yeah, playing possessive soccer.
Keeping the ball on your feet.
Yep.
More time it's on your foot, the less time it's on their foot. Unger looking for the cross, and that one's going to go out of bounds, but great speed burst by Unger. It really provides a great dynamic to the offense. Westwood making some substitutions. Looks like Walsh back on the field for the Wolverines, as well as Lee Patos on the field. Westwood making it very difficult for Dedham to advance the ball even to the 50. Kept it down in the Dedham defensive end for the last several minutes. That was a close look there. Andrews was chasing after it, and Westwood player chasing after it, and a ricochet went off Andrews, and then goes, or the ricochet, I guess, off Westwood goes out of bounds. It's going to be a goal kick by Andrews. Westwood almost playing with heels on a cliff on the 50. Now, finally, the ball gets past the 50 into Westwood territory. Dedham looking to tie the game. We get a whistle. Is it offside? Nope, it's an infraction on Westwood. Dedham's going to have a kick or a throw. It was out of bounds. Ball gets past the initial players, defended by Westwood, and there's going to be a handball there. So Dedham's going to actually have a really good look for a shot on net inside the 25. We saw a shot earlier where Chilangwa had to make a great save and caught a piece of the crossbar. So this is a big opportunity right here for Dedham. See what they do with personnel. Looks like number 16 is going to take the shot for Dedham. Molly Bonsale. I'd imagine she's probably going to try and get one on net.
It's a good enough distance where you might be able to.
Yep. A little chip shot. Chilangwa comes out and it just goes through the goal line. So
a good strategy though. You had a Dedham player cutting towards the goal, and Chilangwa was there in time, and cut off the player. But
timing play, yeah.
Could have been dangerous for the Wolverines there. Could have been a bad situation where it's tied 2-2. But overall, heads up play by Chilangwa.
Goal kick for the Wolverines. Stamatako's going to take it. It's a good one. Reached all the way to Gannon. And then out of bounds right around the 40. Dedham going to have to make a substitution, which stops the play. 21 minutes remaining here in the game. Wolverines up 2-1. Off 2 Bella Wen penalty kicks. As you mentioned, Evan, you don't see penalty kicks happen often, but 2 in one game. That wasn't on our bingo card.
No, it certainly wasn't. But when you're covering sports, anything can happen. That's the beauty of it. You can one game see nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Out of the ordinary. Then you have games where you see
You earn them.
all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Shalane with the kick. A great play there by Jurgens. Jurgens just ricocheted down or near side to Olivia Mason, who was working her way downhill towards the sideline. It was a great timing play. Nice look. That advanced the ball about 40 yards, and then Westwood still has it in their hands, deep in Dedham territory. Pass inside. Jurgens chips it up to Pados. Get a whistle.
looks like a Westwood infraction.
Yeah, that was interesting because the whistle seemed like it came before any contact, so there must have been something that went on before that play. It was kind of like a continuation whistle. Dedham not going to waste any time. They kicked it, but Stamatakos kicks it right back. Nice volley, as if there was a tennis net at the 50-yard line, right back over to the other side. We got another whistle.
Might be. I did not see it, but if it's Westwood ball, no, it's going to be.
I think it's a Dedham ball,
Dedham
right around
ball.
the 45 or so.
Not sure what was called. Maybe something when the ball went past. I saw two of the players tangled up. There could have been something there, but I'm not too sure.
Ball inside. Westwood holding strong on defense. Stamatakos gets a foot on. That was not easy. The ball was elevated. She's still able to get a foot on it. Westwood comes away with it. Boom. Makes a nice move. Stays with Westwood. Looks inside. That ball gets defended. Going to try near side. Unger with an angle. Kicks inside on the center. Kicked out by Dedham. Then out of ball on Mason. Dedham throw. Two more players coming on for Dedham.
And one of the things that Unger does really well is Unger sets up, the good passes. She sets up plays there for Westwood. She comes down on one of the sides, usually the near side for us, and tries to set up a pass. And right now we haven't seen. We've seen that with some success finding players on the inside. We've seen some misses, but that's something that I think, as the season goes on, you'll see Westwood be able to set up those plays a little better and better, and start to kind of find their footing on that play. But I think it's a good fundamental approach. She has a really great setup.
They're clean. You don't have to make an adjustment.
No.
It's on the ground. You don't have to lift your foot and try and, just make sure that you get the right part of the foot on it. It's right there where it needs to be.
It's just a matter of, if you're the Unger's teammates, is setting the play up for yourself and kind of playing more anticipatory and seeing, okay, well, I know Natalie's going down and is about to make a pass, and if that comes my way, where do I need to be to make the play?
Stamatakos looking to send it inside. Oh, great play by Stamatakos. The read on that, jumping in on it. She could turn that into offense. I'd imagine by the end of the season she'll have a few goals from just jumping in on the play. Love to see defensive players score goals. They deserve it. They've been working so hard to keep goals out of the net, and then when they get rewarded, like Hillary Noble, no less, on senior night out.
Always fun to see that one of the defensive players who's not normally scoring goals get their time in the spotlight and get their moment to score, and
Well deserved.
it is. It's a harder in goal for them. They don't get the glory of the goals so often. They're a lot of those defensive stats don't really show up on paper. We've said that time and time again, like, even looking at, boys and girls soccer last year, Nicholson, Morrison, a lot of their stats don't show up on a stat sheet. So, it's good to see them get their moment. We always enjoy a defensive score.
Yeah.
So,
Dedham looking to tie it. Down a goal here as we get later in the game. 16 minutes, 38 remaining here at Flay Hive. Wolverines up 2-1. Dedham making another substitution. These substitutions, at some point, it's slowing the game down on Dedham's side. You got to imagine the flow and whatnot. You're ready to get a throw in and all that, and then you're waiting because, the whistle's been blown.
Dedham, I've noticed, has made a lot of substitutions. They rotate a lot of players, which isn't necessarily a bad strategy.
No.
We've seen that strategy work many a time. But, the other thing I'll say, too, is, if you have momentum on your side, if you're Dedham, it might not be worth, subbing players that time. If hey, we have good momentum on our side right now, let's not sub players. Let's keep the players on the field who are hottest. We're going to see an infraction there. It's going to go against Westwood. But, hey, can you, keep the momentum going, and maybe you can capitalize on a Westwood that this game we haven't seen many substitutions, or nearly as many substitutions as we have in the past. So, it's a chess match between the two coaches, and, Dedham's strategy is keep players fresh, keep them, rotating, and Westwood's right now is stick with what you have for a little bit, and then, we're going to take some of our starters out closer to the, as we get close. We're approaching the 15-minute mark here for 15 minutes left to go in this game, so I would imagine what you're going to see here is probably a substitution of your starters come out. I don't know exactly who's in for starters right now. It's hard for me to see numbers while I'm also trying to film, but, if you have Gannon and Hansen and Bellawan and those players out there, you might take them off for a little bit. Say, hey, rest up, as
Handball, it looked like. They're going to call foul on Wen. It looks like a handball before that, but foul after. Going to be call on Westwood, Dedham ball.
We're going to see, too, like...
Wen is not happy about it.
No. I mean, we've seen, the thing, too, about the refs is they're, we saw this the last game we were here for the boys. They're not looking to call yellow cards. They're not looking to call penalties. We're getting into sort of that dangerous territory where, you have to start playing a little smarter because
Late in the game.
Late in the game, they're more likely to call it because, they don't want you to do something that's going to potentially, affect outcomes. They don't want to, as much as the refs don't want to be making calls that are going to decide games. That's the last thing they want to do.
Pass by Unger.
So, for Westwood, too, we're within, we just hit the 14-minute mark now. So, the thing for Westwood is you might want to start playing the game of keep away now and start playing that game of, let's control the pace, let's control the ball, and we have a lead, and that's going to be a corner.
Westwood, don't be afraid to score one.
That's true.
Put the nail in the coffin.
Especially when you have the opportunity right here. I just said, it might be time to play keep away, and that's the more sort of safer approach. But you have an opportunity right here. Maybe get a little aggressive, and then you can start to play that game of run the clock.
Walsh on the corner gets through a collection of players. Ends up around the 40. Lou keeps it back into Dedham territory. Dedham comes away with them on the far side, able to get it by. They're going to send it down the far sideline if it can stay in bounds, and it doesn't. So Westwood forcing Dedham to be perfect. Dedham had a good kind of 2 steps there to make a nice move to try and create a odd player rush, but then Westwood forced them to be perfect. Trying on that far sideline and out of bounds. Ball tracking on the far sideline again. And that's where you're seeing the physical plays, just battling, trying to keep it in, or battling to make sure that it goes out off the last player, which Westwood was looking there. They force a kick out of bounds. It's going to be a Dedham throw. Kicked up, a little touch pass. Juergens. Ball is blocked, went off Westwood. Westwood jumps right on top of it.
Looking to make something out of this here. They have a good open field look right now.
Gannon with some speed, looking inside, makes a nice move, and that's kicked out by Dedham. Looks like it'll be a corner kick. Yes. Oh, are they saying goal kick?
They might be
Say
saying goal
goal
kick.
kick,
I almost thought that was off of Gannon.
I mean, that the science of that would say it had to have gone off Dedham. But can you ask the other official? I don't think you can. They're so far away from each other. You know.
Yeah, I think you're going to listen in this case too. I don't think the far side, the near side official, who's down currently at the 45. I don't think they're going to have really the best view versus that far side official. But I mean, it's close too. You know, like to me, I could have seen it going either way.
Every play is physical right now.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's a hard call for these refs because they don't have the instant replay. They're not
fast game too. It's you have to move basically 80 yards going back between the 20s or so. Westwood's still trying to advance the ball and get some good looks. Unger fighting for it. Izzy Hansen jumps back in the play to help out, forcing Dedham to move it on the near side. Unger tracking it down. Then Mason, ball stays in. Unger got it now, going the other way. And the ball goes out. Great effort by the Wolverines. They got some great back checking, as we would say in hockey, where forwards coming back to help out on defense. Charles Donahue used to give a back checker award. That looked like it went off the hand. No call. Charles Donahue, senior, used to give out back checker award each game, and that was like the highlight. Mark Arthur brought it up where, hey, goal scoring's great, getting points is great, but back checking's even better.
Yep.
The ones that help you win the game because they came back and helped on defense when they are goal scorers.
And I think what you're going to see now here too is you're going to see Dedham start to play a little more aggressive here. We're
10 minutes left.
Approaching 10 minutes now. It's do or die time for them, and they're going to start playing aggressive, start playing physical. I think you're going to see them.
Definitely got to take some risk because they haven't had really any opportunities this half. And the goal they did score was kind of it was a gift. It was a hand-wrapped gift by Westwood. It was, the players were kind of looking at each other thinking, are you going to take it? Are you going to take it? And Dedham jumped on it and scored. Where that kind of situation, it happens in every sport. We see a lot in hockey when there's players in front of the net. And, which defender is going to take the player in front of the net? Which is the other defender going to take the player behind the net? And it's all about kind of, being on the right page of communication and whatnot. But those things happen. Pass inside. That goes off Gannon. That was a great look. I think it was McGovern on the kick. I like the creativity. Looking inside. It doesn't matter. Hey, 10 minutes left. Still good. Let's get this goal. Let's close the game out.
I mean,
that's the next goal, and that's basically closing the game out as good as solid defense will. Westwood comes away with it. Gannon. She's got the ball in the scoring area and saved by Andrews.
I mean, if you have the opportunity, that's the thing too. You have to force right now. Westwood's forcing Dedham to play perfect soccer. They're forcing them to say, you can't. You got to take risks, but you also have to be perfect with those risks, and those are two things that don't really work out well. So, for Westwood, now's the time to capitalize. If you could maybe even, catch them on a mistake, you can, take it down and score. We almost saw it there. So, Dedham's got to. You're going to see them get a little more aggressive here. Westwood's going to force them to play perfect, and as it keeps these plays here too, where it keeps getting out of bounds, Westwood's running some time down too.
Ball's inside. Shot. Oh, just outside the net. That was a great shot from the outside by Dedham. Just was outside the left post.
It was close. I mean, that was probably like a few feet off from hitting the crossbar. So, close shot by Dedham, but Westwood lucky there. You have Chalangua now. Can you turn the field here and sort of get out of your zone and keep it down on the other side of the field?
Through the 50. Far side. That's where we're going to see some physical plays as you see the ball on the sidelines. That's where both teams are not going to quit on it. Great compete. Dedham sending it down Westwood territory. Chalangua comes out and picks it up. She's going to send it far side. I like this.
Aggressive.
Mason's got some room.
I almost thought she was going to hold on it for a minute there and just, wait for the opportunity to come up. But she saw the opportunity, too. There was a great opportunity on that side of the field, and, take it when you have it.
McGovern out there. Juergens out there. Stamatakos. Love to see these freshmen out there in a critical time in the game, late in the game. This is good confidence from head coach Seth Lukash and his freshman players.
And what does it say about these freshmen, too, that Coach Lukash has the confidence to put in crunch time in a TVL large game that will affect the standings later on in the season? It says a lot about these three freshmen that he trusts them enough to be out there, and he views them as the players who need to be out on the field in crunch time, and Westwood's going to have a great freshman class in the future.
Yep. It is important for their development, though, too.
Absolutely.
To be able to, feel that the coach entrusts in you in critical times in the game.
And it gives you that experience so later on in the season when, right now the lights are bright, but the lights are going to be brighter in October and in November when you're in the playoffs especially, and it's a good also way for these younger players and the freshmen especially to get used to that feeling. You're not really used to that when you're playing middle school, Little League soccer.
This is where Westwood's forcing them to be perfect. They're trying to send it. That goes out of bounds. Now, Chalangua will certainly take her time on the goal kick.
We're approaching stoppage time, too, for Westwood. So, at this point, too, now you see Chalangua starting to take her time, setting up the goal kick, and Westwood sort of, controlling the game. That's the big thing. They don't necessarily don't play less aggressive, but control the game, control possession. And that's going to be the big thing for Westwood defensively. Or even doing stuff like that where, hey, kick it out of bounds. You're forcing Dedham to have to get the ball from the ball girl and, keeping it slow, slowing this game down, letting the clock tick. As we approach stoppage time here at Flay High Field, Westwood now has the ball.
Yep.
And they're going to keep it.
And we are at the 5-minute stoppage time. The rest of the game is on the official's whistle. I believe it's on the official on the far side at the bench, typically, so they can let the coaches know how much time is left when they ask. And they will be asking. I remember asking, how much time, how much time? And, you get some funny answers every now and then. Keep playing. Enough time. That is a great throw by Dedham. Knocked out by Westwood.
So the big thing here is, can Westwood, this is a good test defensively too, Dedham's starting to kind of get on their side of the field, How do you play defensively and how do you respond? We've been down on this side of the field for the past 3 or so minutes as I'm going to be forced to eat my words as we take it on the other side of the field, but good response there to flip the field for Westwood. Get it back on their side and play a little offense here late.
Oh. Great pass. Juergens out to Gannon. Gannon looking for an angle. That was a great one-touch pass between the two of them. Shot from the outside, and that's going to be wide left. It was a shot from Avery Bone. But what a beautiful passing there by Gannon and Juergens.
Once again, and that's the thing too that we want to see Westwood continue to practice at and develop at is that passing attack, that setting up good plays. Tonight we've seen a lot of good passing plays set up. That first game we saw good passing plays, but I noticed in this game we've seen a lot more set-up passes, sort of design plays, getting players in position to maybe have an opportunity at the net. And that's something I think you're going to continue to see get better and better throughout the season. But it's good to see that they're continuing to develop that because that's ultimately how you want to score your goals. The corner kicks and the penalty kicks are great, and that's a great way to score goals, but that's not ultimately how, as a team, you want to score your goals. You want to get your goals from the field. And I think we're going to continue to see that this Westwood team develop for that. But, you like to see them working on that passing. That's the key takeaway tonight, I think, too. Is this is a team that's developing, and they are working on their passing. You can see it there. You can see it on their play.
When you're good at passing, it's hard to defend, because you've got to make those adjustments. And, it's, like we said, the ball is going to move far faster than any player would with it. Ball inside chipped, and that's going to ricochet and then go in the hands of Alessia Chalangua.
I mean, we see it, too, in other sports, too. You look at hockey, you look at lacrosse, you look at field hockey, but you look at those sports where very similar sense. You have players on a court or a field. Basketball, passing is important. That's how you find and expose teams, how you pass, how you share the ball, how you get the ball around, how you move the puck. So, in any sport, that's going to be key. So, it's the team that's continuing to work on, especially where it's young. You have a player like Unger, who's a sophomore, still, and these freshmen too who are playing, who are learning the system. So I think that comes with experience, that comes with time. But Westwood's making the developments they need to make right now to have a successful season.
I'd love to hear the energy from the Benergy, the bench, Westwood bench, they call it the Benergy, and you can hear them now. They are loud. You can hear them all the way from the booth. Gannon, not done yet. Looks like Bobby Orr out there, just moving the ball around and taking valuable time off the clock. A whistle, that's a fraction of Westwood. Dedham ball. Dedham's got to hurry. You don't know how much time's left.
No, I know. I would imagine we're getting closer, but once again, you don't know. I mean, I don't think we had too many stoppages in the game. We had a couple players slow to get
First
up.
half was nothing.
And we're going to have a timeout here.
Yeah,
but
timeout call.
We had a couple, I think a couple players that got injured, maybe caught the wind knocked out of them, not really injured. Stopped the game for a little bit, but you didn't really see that. And I know the refs, the way they decide kind of stoppage time is they kind of base it on how much time has gotten away from the game in terms of play. You want to make sure, you're making up some of that time where they weren't playing, where they were setting up, penalty kicks or setting up even just free kicks. So, that's the thing that's hard is we don't, up here, we don't time those. So we don't have a rough estimate, give or take. And also it could depend on how the ref's feeling. They were mentioned, where Andres mentioned to us, hey, if, there's a play developing and it's a close game like this and Dedham has the ball down there and they're over where the ref would have stopped the game, they're going to let it play out.
Yeah.
They're not going to call it off while Dedham has the ball on Westwood's side of the field, because if they do, that it's not, it could lead to a little bit of outrage. And I know they don't want to do that. Like I said earlier, they don't want to have a game game's results impacted by their call.
So we'll see if there's any drawn-up plays by Dedham. Throw-in kicked out by Westwood. Stamatakos on the spot. Pick it right back up. As we mentioned, we don't know how much time's left. So Dedham's got to be quick with their opportunities. Westwood, some strong defense there in the box. Ball right back out of bounds.
And this is where we're going to see Westwood starting to play a little more, sort of kick it away. They're not really necessarily playing the long-term game.
Do it 50 times in a row.
Yeah, just kick
death
it
by
out.
Paper cuts. And kicked out by Westwood. Big play there. That was in traffic. Westwood kicked it all the way out to the 40. And then ricochet. I believe goes off Hansen.
They're getting
Dedham ball.
They're getting excited.
Still time ticking off the clock. The Benergy, very loud.
Yep. And Westwood's keeping the aggression on now. This is the time to do it, and they're
forcing Dedham to be perfect. They're sending on net. Chalengua gets the hands on it. And that is going to do it here at Flay High Field. Westwood victorious 2-1 over the Dedham Marauders. And that will put Westwood's record 3-1 on the season. 3-1 the TVL Large. And a great start to their season, and a big win at home. And Evan, what were the keys to the victory that you saw in Westwood today?
Once again, I'll start off with this, not necessarily a key, but just a comment. Great bounce back win. You had a tough loss against a tough opponent in Hopkinton. This is how you want to bounce back, with a hard-fought win versus a good team in Dedham. Keys to the win, passing. We talked about it all night. I was just talking about a few moments ago. Having good passing plays, setting it up, and setting up plays that work in your favor. Westwood did a really good job of that tonight. And then the aggression defensively. You saw a lot of defensive aggression. You saw defense playing smart, playing physical. There were a couple plays that did get away from them, that goal in the first half, but playing smart defensively, keeping it for the most part really tight. Some things that they're going to continue to work on, but it's a work in progress for any team across any season. at any level of sport, you got to continue to improve week in and week out. And I think the big thing for Westwood is we see them continue to improve. So those are my takeaways for tonight. A big win for Westwood, and it's going to carry momentum.
Yep, Bella win. 2 penalty kicks, 2 goals. Capitalizing on those, converting on those. When you get those opportunities, which are few and far between, you got to score on them, and she did. She answered it. She's 3 for 3 on the year with those. So that is going to do it here from Flay High Field. Evan Cardamino, Morgan Donahue, Westwood Media Center coverage of Westwood Girls Soccer. Thank you, folks, for tuning in. We're looking forward to seeing you all in the next one.